Hi guys, it's Siri, so welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing my May TBR. I can't believe April is already over. Honestly, these months pass by so quickly. It's kind of scary, especially when you are very bad at sticking to your TBR like I am. But nevertheless, I'm gonna give it another try this month and we're just gonna go with it because you can't fail a challenge every now and again. What's the point of anything anyway? That made no sense. Okay. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump into the 10 books I'm planning to read in the month of May. Now, I have currently been in a really big fantasy mood, so many of these are fantasies, and I have, again, not learned from my mistakes because I always pick the books based on what I'm in the mood of at the beginning of the month, and then by the end of the month, I'm in a completely different mood, but whatever. We're just gonna try again, but basically, yeah, I have a lot of fantasies, so let's do those first. The first book that has been on my TBR for absolutely ages now, and it's gonna keep being on it until I finally read it. I'm not gonna budge on this one. It's The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. Teresa, you absolutely have to read this now because you're in a fantasy mood. This is a fantasy book, at least to some extent, and you need to finally finish this freaking series. So this book has to happen. That is a direct order. I don't know why I'm so strict all of a sudden. Let's just do some more sequels first, shall we? So the next sequel is called, I can't actually remember the name. This is bad. I also don't own this book yet, but I'm planning on buying it soon, so I'm just gonna pop it on this list just in case. I think it's called Mortal Heart or something like that. It's by Robin Lefevers. It's the third book in the His Fair Assassin trilogy, and I'm currently reading the second one, so I'm probably gonna buy the third one pretty soon and hope to read it again soon. So this should be a shoo-in for a book that I'm actually gonna read in May. So cross your fingers. Cross your fingers, everyone. Please do that. So this is a real world inspired fantasy series. It's set in the 1400s in a country called Brittany, or like independent duchy in France, and it's about assassin nuns, basically these daughters of the god of death that are humans, but that have been called to serve Mortain, who's the god of death, and they are basically trained at an abbey to become assassins and fulfill his bidding. The books are what I would call like semi-sequels because chronologically I believe they are sequels. At least the second one is a direct chronological sequel to the first, but they all follow different main characters. So I think that's a really interesting take. I've never really read a book like that before that just like follows the same story strand, but from different perspectives every time around. And I personally really enjoyed the first book. I'm currently really enjoying the second book, and I can't wait to read the third one. Another sequel, actually there are two sequels I would love to read this month, are Grey Sister and Holy Sister by Mark Lawrence. I have already put out an order for Holy Sister, so that should be on its way to me very soon. I'm very excited. These are the sequels to Red Sister, a book that I read last year, and just funnily enough, these are also about assassin nuns. I don't know what I have with assassin nuns. They're kind of a cool thing that I personally really enjoy, and I really enjoyed the first book. I was thinking, like considering if I should reread it before continuing and hopefully finishing the series, but to be honest, I still remember more than I do of like most books that I read, and I think I'm just gonna look at a quick recap somewhere online and then jump straight into Grey Sister. I have not yet read Grey Sister. I've kind of been holding off on it until Holy Sister came out, which is now, so yeah, I'm hoping to like binge read the rest of the series and finish it. I'm so excited. I really enjoyed the first one, and if you have not read it yet, I recommend checking it out. So this appears to be the month of me finishing sequels. At least that's what I'm planning for it to be, because I suck recently. I've been very bad at actually continuing series I've started, so you know, I kind of want to be a little bit better with that. So I also want to read The Sun Rising by Samantha Shannon. It's the third book in the Bone Season series. And in a very recent video, I talked about how I kind of changed my opinion on this series because when I first picked up the first book, I think like 5 years ago, I really loved it. And when I read the second book, The Mime Order, I also really loved it. But upon rereading it, I was not as big of a fan anymore. And I'm not entirely sure if that's because it was a reread or because I just I'm not a fan of the series anymore. So we're gonna put that to the test and determine which it is by hopefully me finally reading the third book that I've owned for like 2 years and still have not picked up. But I would love to do that. I love this cover. I think it's super stunning. It has like orange sprayed pages. It's completely beautiful. So, you know, at least that's something it already has going for it. And we're just gonna see where this goes. And I'm excited. I'm excited to know, and hope you guys are too. And the last sequel that I'm hoping to read is Red Queen by Christina Henry. This is the sequel to Alice, which I read last year. It's a kind of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland retelling, but with like a gothic twist. And it's also, the story itself is also quite different. So it's kind of just like an inspired book. But I've been meaning to get to the sequel for so long, like ever since I read the first book, but I just didn't pick it up yet because I wasn't in the like 100% mood for it. So hopefully it's gonna happen this month. It's quite short compared to my other books at least. So I have to do it. I want to do it. It's like only 300 pages or so, and I hope I like it as much as I did the first book. And the last fantasy I want to read is actually the first book in a series, because when I'm finishing series, that means I also get to start new series, right? At least that's how it works in my head. That is Traitor's Blade by Sebastian de Castell. This is a pretty long fantasy series. I believe there's like 6 books or 7 books. I don't know. That has been going on for like the last 30 minutes before I started filming, and I was so mad that they would choose this moment in time. Is this necessary on a Saturday? I don't know. This is the first book in the Grey Coats series. I think it spans about 6 or 7 books, and I've heard many great things about it so far. I've actually owned this book for a while, but just haven't picked it up yet. I think it's kind of like, it looks easy to get into because it's not that long, like compared to many others. And since I've heard so many positive things, and it kind of like synopsis-wise, I don't even know what the exact synopsis is, but I think it reminded me a little bit of The Lies of Locke Lamora. Maybe it's completely different, but either way, I'm excited to pick this up, and I hope I enjoy it. Yay! I'm excited to like read new fantasies, right? Because it's always cool to discover something new. But of course, since I don't want to actually burn myself out on too much fantasy, which even though I'm saying this now, it's definitely gonna happen and I'm gonna want to read something else. So I'm giving myself some other options. The first book is Detective Conan Volume 90 by Gosho Aoyama. It's obviously a manga, like a mystery manga. It's in Japanese. I need to read more Japanese, as I always say, so hoping to get to this at some point in May. Then I have Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng. I got this book a little while ago on a whim because I have heard so many great things about her writing thus far, and I just like never took the plunge to like actually pick up a book of hers. So now I have this one. I don't know much of what it's about, but it's very highly beloved here on BookTube and just in general, so I hope I like it too, and I definitely want to try to get to this in May. And then the final book I want to read is The Map of Salt and Stars by Jennifer Zainab Jokadar, except that I think that the author is actually transgender because his Instagram now is called Zain Jokadar, so I'm a little confused. I like found no specific thing on that, but he is called a he now, so I'm assuming he's transgender. I'm sorry if I like got that wrong. I believe this book is set in present-day Syria, and it follows a young girl who is being told stories about another girl that lived in the 12th century that sort of went off on some adventures or like achieved something great. I'm not entirely sure, but the book is kind of told both in the present and in the 12th century, telling both of these stories, kind of interconnecting them. And it's, I think, endeavoring to tell the story of Syria and how it's changing in the present and all that kind of thing. And it definitely sounds really amazing. Like, I'm so excited to get into this. I'm ashamed to say that I don't know much about Syria at all, and I wish to learn more, and I hope that this is going to have some teaching moments or some moving moments. I'm assuming it's going to be a very emotional story, and I'm excited to jump into this, and I would love to do that this month. I think this cover also is just so extremely beautiful. Like, I cannot stop staring at it. Just look at the spine, at the back. I don't even know, like the naked hardback also is just like the best shade of blue ever. So you know, all of that is motivation enough, the synopsis combined with the beauty of the book, to hopefully make me pick it up this month. And I would love to get to recommend this to you. I hope I enjoy it. That's what I'm trying to say with that. Okay. Alrighty, and that is it for all of the books that I'm planning to read in May. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you maybe found some inspiration of what you would like to read in May. If you have other books that are on your list, leave them in the comments down below, because I would love to know what you're currently reading or planning to read. And before you leave, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I upload every Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday, and I hope to see you very soon with another video. Until then, have a lovely week. Bye!